Good evening, good evening. I'll go Sunday so far. Hi, Retro. How are you doing tonight? Doing okay. Worked a bit and also was able to finish dailies and events. Nice. I've been doing a little bit of mining in the background throughout today, and haven't really started much of anything else in the game yet. Cut down a huge weed in the yard. Nice. Getting some of the landscaping stuff done is pretty nice. I've been going through some of my storage items and throwing away some stuff and reconsolidating some things. Collecting broken ship parts. Infinite Incursion, Shattered Alliance. That is still Matt spending. The space that I always like to do it was in the Voyager space, but not like in the Voyager systems. Like in the Formation Armada ones here. Actually, this one I don't think it has anything. No, this one does. So they carry 5-star in the Hirogen Hunters. That's 5-star and 4-star. Well, you said survey parts particularly. I mean, this still can be done inside a faction space too. I don't know if if like any of the independent systems have any. Oh, not that button. You can mine them too. The 6-star ones, at least. Actually, don't the regular hostiles carry survey parts in faction space? Yeah, the regular faction hostiles carry survey parts. There are systems. I don't know if any of them are particularly That's interceptor parts. I don't know if there's anything in particular that does survey parts, but I just know that you can mine parts in certain systems. There was at least one system I thought here in Independent Space. There's survey parts in the 64 system here. But that's 1200 warp. Klingon starts with battleship. Fed starts with interceptor. So then Romulan was explorer. I've never really done any of the mining for the parts yet, but I don't know what the rates are. Where was that one? Right there. I'm guessing that one has to be a Selkie. $177,000 per hour for my ship. And that could probably be increased with like what the mining tribble and this is called Eldari Zon. It's also a 300% hazard. So it's between Federation and Klingon space here. It's something that can be used passively, at least. Eldari Zon. You'll be able to copy that and search for it that way. Actually, I've never tried this before. That might actually be able to work. I'm not sure. All right. So Scotty's engineering is continuing again. I did some transogen mining earlier. Still have a heck of a lot of Suliban. My squall's not quite big enough to really take on anything higher than like... Oh, I could probably actually do 50 now. I can only hold up to like... I don't know what it is. Probably like 5 or 6 level 50s. Thank you for the follow, Bomb Diggity. How you doing tonight? Good? Well, that's good. Yeah, I'm just getting settled in, trying to get some of these things finished off here. Hello, Big Bad Booty Daddy. How you doing tonight? All right, so Protector and Suliban. And we have building and research upgrade SLB that could be done. That would have some synergy with the incursions prep event. Good, just finishing some door dashing. Nice. All right, I got the cube set up to do some faction hostels. Where's my damn food? I've been waiting an hour. That's a funny thought right there. I do some door dashing every once in a while too, and I may have missed the order from being in the middle of like a armada or something like that. Most of the time, like, I'll play some Pokemon Go or something like that. Every once in a while, I'll get into like a gym battle or something like that, and I'll have an order come in, and I'm like, ah, crap. Accept it real quick. You got it already. Hi, Zero. How's it going tonight? What's going on? Just going through the events and seeing a little bit of progress here, hoping to finish off some of these Suliban things. Is there additional syndicate events tomorrow, or is that just an extension of today? Like the ones that we can see? Yeah, I'm not going to be participating in those, I don't believe. If it was $25 for all 4 days, I could justify it, but you know, $25 for day 1, $25 for day 2, $25 for day 3, $25 for day 4. Yeah. You guys both got no sleep. Well, if they were gonna treat it like just like a heroic battle pass or something like that, where it was $25 to be able to get in and do everything, it'd be fine. It's still pretty worth it in a way, because it's still twice as much Syndicate XP for me than what I would get with the $100 pack out of the store. But I just wouldn't be getting any of the extra resources that come with it. And I don't know if it's worth giving up those extra resources for twice the Syndicate XP. $262K daily from the daily claim. I've never really added up how much I get. I know that I get at least like 150. Because I mean, just from the DTI store, there's like 75, and then I think this claim is close to 60. And then yeah, all the other additional sources past that. I just know that progress bar moves reasonably quick. Because it was only a few days ago that I was beneath the 5, and I'm between the 5 and the 0 now. So I mean, I think that's pretty decent. Oh, you're close to getting the upgrade for damage for the arenas tomorrow night? I gotta remember to actually try to participate in it. I always forget that the arenas are on Monday night, and by the time I get logged into the game and do my things, it's usually like about over. Hello, George. How you doing tonight? I'm not even gonna pretend like I can try to pronounce that. Herman for Cottontail? Okay. I figured it'd be something like that, but I don't know enough of the words. You enjoyed the arenas even with the bad nights? I mean, I don't know if I would really even count it as like a good night, bad night situation myself. You know, it's either... I mean, you always go in with a risk. But there's not a lot of like real risk in the game. I mean, all it is just your time. And, well, I guess if you're really chasing the points, you can lose points, I guess, but... I haven't participated in an arena in like 2 months now.
Lizard.
Hi, Broken Wolf. How you doing tonight? I don't know if I'm ever gonna get sick of that lizard sticker. That's quite the meme. He's broken. That's fair. All right, that should be enough Klingons. Oh, did I already do these? Oh, I must have done these last night after reset. Let's see. There was still the hostile. No. Okay. That was unnecessary time. But that's fine. Recall this back. Offload. I'm gonna send this off to get some Transogen. Well, Suliban space. Hit the crazy glue. Alright, screen squall down for the count. Send that back. It's not at an effective level to be able to get much for points right now. Right. Coming in sliding sideways. Okay, so this thing. We'll set that on the edge, call that good. I also need to mine Transogen. I got my 2 chest pull covered last night. So I need 1 ship of uncommon and 5 ships of rare. And we'll start getting this thing crewed from your universe activities. I don't know if I have Veil back at the shop here. And I do. It's still better to use him. Yeah, something like that. Get that shipped off to Mirror Universe after we get our miners set. Yeah, it's been a little bit tough this month to try to keep interested in doing just the mining and Suliban and mining and Suliban. I'm kind of interested to see what their flashpoint that they're gonna have next week is gonna, or later this week, is gonna bring us. I was very surprised to see it come up on the schedule. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of like the last one where it was just like an SMS event that was pretty easy to complete. But there wasn't really much content or engagement involved in it. I find it hard to believe that they did like a complete overhaul and they're gonna actually launch it. Which is weird for some company that is trying to put a pause on it until they have it fixed. All right, so we're set here for a minute. Begin the tedious job of warping and warping and warping. I am a little surprised that they haven't came up with a kind of like an auto warp system or some kind of a cheat method, even if it was a prime or something. Right, I never remember this exact path. Romy and then Charon. Zero, you were running short on the warp tokens for Mirror Universe space, right? That's why you're trying to look for options outside of Mirror Universe. Well, these actually don't actually carry any survey parts. So yeah, like the only space you can actually get like the G6 survey parts is off of like just the regular faction hostiles then. Well, like the battleships, explorers, and interceptors, they all carry survey parts. I think like in the mid range, like 65 or 66 systems, I was thinking that there might be a survey specific system in each faction. Yeah. Unless that's a research item that gives the survey parts inside of those ships, but all the ones that I've been hitting, they have um the regular faction hostiles carry survey parts. I'm gonna end up having my Klingon rep raised again if I spend too much time in here. Green squall down. Huh. I always think the Crozier is the NX-01. Yeah, if you look at any of the faction hostiles, they'll be carrying survey parts. It's less than what the regular ones are, but that could vary a little bit with research. Oh, perfect. Mirror universe is done. Well, not mining. I thought I had ran across one system that had surveys in it. Well, these ones. Maybe not. Maybe I was just dreaming. Yeah, and the only one that I found that had the parts that could be mined was this one, which is the hazard system. That ad break message does not seem to line up correctly. we'll try that. All right, how much time do I have Mirror Universe left? 15 minutes. Yeah. Not that bad doing some of the grinding when the system's empty, but when there's a couple people in there, it gets to be a pain in the ass to pay attention to. Alright, let's send the squall back out. And then there's no other kind of like Ferengi event type of thing going on either. So almost halfway's done with the Suliban hunt. And then I'll have the engineering overflow. Grab mission keys. I fell behind on that. I'm not going to be able to complete my mission key SMS. Well, that wasn't really worth it anyways. If I needed to finish off Torres, I probably would have been a little bit disappointed, but... Alright, ahead of the curve. Today's artifacts. Spending artifact tokens. And I forgot to set my Serene Squall. I feel a lot better about losing Serene Squall than I do about losing a Selkie. No, not that one. We can get a few artifacts done there. Alright, more refinery things do. Oh, I need Transogen containment. Let's get the cube back to base. Get the cube back to base. We'll activate the Tempest Hazard Resistance. And then we'll go up and do probably 66s. I don't think I'll have the resistance for the 68s. Yeah, not quite. Actually, it looks like you don't have to dock to get that one to apply. I just kind of assumed that you did. Well, that's good because then you can set out the ship and get it in place and then activate it. Keep your time maximized. Yeah, 60% still isn't great. I do look forward to being able to get the hazard resistance up that extra 60% though. All right, that's set. I'm gonna swap this out. For Coronar. And I'm gonna send this to go collect some Augment Exile. Because that's a never-ending cycle that needs to be fed. Alright, so what is that? One more tier on this? Yes. Doing elite solos right out of the goo. Which goo would that be? All the solo credits. Yeah. I'm probably pretty close to needing to do those tonight as well, actually. It seems like there's never enough of that either. Looks like I'll have just enough to be able to claim tonight, but I'll have to do it tomorrow night, if not tonight. Well, there should be more than enough time to do it tonight. At least once the Suliban hunt is finished. Because I do need some of those officers back and one of those ship docks. Maybe Coronar is not quite strong enough for 50s. Well, not with max loot, at least. I also forgot to swap out, well, I don't have Carol. But I didn't swap in Rachel Garrett. Well, that was worth it. Alright, I'm gonna grab a short break. And I will be right back. All right, we're back. Two dead ships. My Silky and my Serene Squall. Alright, resend to the 50 system. Did I forget to activate? I must have forgot to activate the ability on the Squall. Oh no, it was just that long. I'll get the hang of it at some point. I'm looking forward to the time when the GS31 can actually start to become pretty useful. Selkie died again. I just reset that one. No, I just set that one. Somebody must have killed my chaser that was active in the system. Oh, I never had a chaser for that one. That's annoying. No, that's the one I resent. I could have swore that I still had like 30 seconds on that thing. That must have nabbed me right as it went into the system. Like, I've had that happen a couple of times where it like spawns super close to your ship and intercepts it like before it has a chance to even get halfway into the system. Eyebalt and Druid, sometimes they populate right next to your ship. That must have been what happened, because I swear it wasn't sitting there that long. How's it going tonight? I mean, I just did have that ship die. And had to resend it in, so I mean, it's not like it would be unusual for me to lose a Selkie. It's quite typical for me to lose 2 or 3 a night. On the Serene Squall, yeah, it was just there long enough that it was knocked out. +3 earlier like that. It's way too easy to do. Oh, jeez. Okay. That was way more difficult than it should have been. But we got it. All right, that's... And there dies again. Okay. You know, I joked about having to create myself a Selkie death counter, but I think it makes me feel better not knowing how many I've actually lost for lack of paying attention. Man, my pathing is all sorts of weird tonight. Okay, I don't even know if that ship's gonna actually move. It doesn't even have an icon right now. If that shit doesn't get lost in between the systems, I'm gonna be impressed. Wow. I really thought that ship was gonna get stuck. Okay. Lucky should be good now. Although I kind of question if this one's not going to spawn one. Your face is good. Well, thank you, Rev. Is it the disappointment of losing like 3 Selkies in a row because I quit paying attention? I was just saying, like, I might need to create myself a Selkie death counter. Okay, no respawn here. The hardest part is waiting for warping out again. Yeah. It seems like if you do it too early, you try to warp out again, it seems like half the time the ships get stuck. Which creates other problems, of course. I also got the updated beta version of the community patch too, so I'm not necessarily gonna be surprised if some weird stuff happens now and then. Although it's been a while since I've seen anything that had any kind of real big buggy issues, other than like incompatibility with new features that Scopely does. Well, that's been a while. Oh, how's this event going? This is one of the more tough events to do is the Suliban hunt. Did I get any of the Nova or Selkie mining skins? I don't think I ever did. I mean, there was definite advantage to having them, but no. No, I definitely don't have them. I don't even remember what they do. It's just increasing mining rate for specific ores. I've got the forbidden tax on the ships. So like I have three Selkies. Each one has a crew and forbidden tech set up to mine each ore type. Or each material type, I should say. And I felt that was fine. Yes. I never unlocked the Enterprise D skins at all. Because I never really fly Federation ships, so I never saw a point to unlock them. Yeah, the projectiles are ones that don't have... They're just cosmetic. They don't have any actual effects. Actually, one of them I might actually have that... I might have got something out of like one of the event or faction stores or away teams tournament store. I'll have to go check that out once I get the ship set. I've just learned to live with the pips. Because there's pips that you can't make go away. Or are very difficult to make go away. And I'm one of those people that says if it doesn't give me an advantage today, it might give me an advantage tomorrow, so... No, this refinery one I can't make go away. Yeah, the plasma beam, there's no status effect off of that. And then the ionic disruptors, there's no status effect off of that one. So I'm not gonna unlock those because they're just cosmetic cosmetic effects. They don't do anything. Where is it? I don't know where it is. It doesn't tell me. Well, this one here. But there's always one that's left. Even after I go through and claim everything that I can claim, there's always one that's left on the refinery for me. Or of course now not tonight. Typically there's one that's there. Because normally there's like one in the Transogen area that I can't get to go away for some reason. But like I'm not going to do anything about the officer ones because I'm not going to upgrade officers unless I have a real good reason to. And then the factions, I don't know if I ever claim everything there all the time. Because like I have things that are redeemable in here, but they're not showing pips for. So I just kind of like ignore them. It used to be really, really difficult, but it got to a point where I couldn't do anything about them for long enough that... Well, and I probably actually will go through some of the officers because the, I have to look and see what the, what the power gain event is currently running. If officers are scoring in that or whether that's ship XP or something. Okay, that felt like a quick death. I actually got a little bit sad about the increase to the chests that you can pull at once in the items area. I kind of liked the I don't know what it was before, 199 or 100 or whatever. But I kind of like to be able to have like be able to pull the 100 and build up to 100 again. And being able to have like a jump start with like 30 or 8 of them or something like that would be make it feel like progress went a little bit quicker. You can still do it yourself. You mean turn off the extra claim? Oh, I like to do it as like a periodic thing, like when I get done. Like when my ship's dead and I'm repairing it and sending it back, like when I'm sending it back, I like to open up the chests for the 100. It's not a big deal by any means. Okay, that was weird. I'm just one of those things that I found satisfying that I can't do anymore. All right, 97,000 containment should be enough to open a chest. Ooh, 5 Mbega storybook. I'm making some really good progress on those artifacts. I actually was able to finish off Janeway's mug and close that entire section completely. Oops. Oh, let's see how many points we need left there. So 523,000. Divided by 625. 997 tokens. The Borth Time Crystal is the one that I'm going to be going for. Alright, that should finish off that event. And then add to the curve points. Perfect. I think I'm doing a really good job of making sure that I finish that off this time. Because normally I would kind of just skip that and, you know, like save my artifacts for other events for it, but they've kind of been few and far between, and the accumulation that's been happening with the extra artifact sourcing has been making it easier to kind of get those upgrades set up. That was weird. All right, let's look at the battle pass event. Domination, gain power. So we have officer intel as a scoring metric here. So I will see what I have for officers. I have a lot of officers that I can upgrade the level on. Ooh, that's some good ones. So Tom Paris, he's out deployed. Got your mess all to 92. That's getting up there. So we'll give Tuvok an upgrade. And then we'll give Dane an upgrade. His extra warp speed or extra impulse speed. Definitely worth it. Carol Freeman, will definitely give her an upgrade. That might come in advantage for some arenas action tomorrow. What is felon? Nothing too exciting there, except if I start doing a good hostile grind. But I know that he's a good point card. Or good experience card. Nesmith I use for wave defense. And then I'll be able to max out Paris when I get that chip back, and then Beer up to another level. Garrick too. That's not anything real crazy. I also use her in wave defense, so I'll get that up. Wrath of Khan. I was gonna say Wrath of Khan. Wrath of Khan Carol is non-Armada hostiles. Yes. I wasn't her that I was doing the upgrade for. That was Carol Freeman. The other Carol. The one that will help. Yes, that was definitely worth specifying. Yeah, I think I focused on her in the last event that we had for spending the officer choice tokens, or one of the stores. I don't know exactly where it was, but I was able to get enough shards to get her leveled up. Alright, Suliban hunt is done. That is the last event for the Battle Pass overflow. So that means that's a wrap on Strange New Worlds Part 2. So that leaves arenas, and then incursions, and then alliance tournaments, and then we get flashpoints revisited. And what comes after that one? We got infinite incursions. Alliance tournaments, flashpoint, cosmic choice. And then our officer flash pass starts on Tuesday. I don't remember who we're facing. Hi, Nevy Never. How are you doing tonight? Server 27. I don't remember facing server 27 before. Oh, of course, everything's not loading. Ah, thank you for the subscription. Thank you for the Prime, Nevy Never. All right, let's do some snooping. No, that's the wrong scene. Let's try this again. SCFC statistics. Let's check out server 27. So, Alliance. So their biggest alliance has 370s, 470s. Oh, that's sorted by rank. Okay, let's look at that. There we go. They got some decent little power going on there. Let's try to make that a little easier to see. It's not names I recognize. I don't recognize any of the alliances off the top of my head here. This might be the first time that we're facing each other. Our server's ranked a little bit stronger. Pretty close on the number of active people. It'll be an interesting... It'll definitely be an interesting incursions. So disappointing that that doesn't load. Just no one get caught in their TC. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could be negative about that. How's it going tonight, Skeletor? The only advantage I see is no TC on Tuesdays. That's true. I don't know how many times I'll go into a territory defense during incursions and there's just ships loaded everywhere and just easy pickings. Been busy lately? Well, that could be a good thing. Especially if it's getting ready to take a, you know, like slower, chiller time. Well, yeah, I mean, people not moving their base is always something that's gonna happen and be ran into. I'm actually surprised, but our leadership has not been starting to spam the chat with moving messages yet. Usually they're pretty good about being on top of that. A lot of people aren't actually in TC though, too. Speaking of TC, our defense is done. Alright, do I have my Transogen pulls figured out? Not yet. Okay, one more around there. Definitely cracked and raided someone in your alliance today. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. With how quiet the chat's been this weekend, I don't know if a lot of people are going to be around. Top 65, was it in the same system that I'm in? No, they're not there anymore. Okay. There was somebody on this planet a couple weeks ago. All right, that one can go back. Where did I end up at? There we go. Too many other things to hit to go back and remember. Yeah, I run into that problem in PC2. I'll a lot of times I just post in Alliance chat the bases that I'm cracking during incursions and just kind of use that as a marker, because eventually somebody will pop onto one of them. I'm usually more interested in cracking bases than I am in actually raiding resources. Other than for the points. I'll do it for the points. $4 trillion scoops is pretty decent though. I mean, the conversion from regular to Sigma sucks, but it's still extra resources. Hi Viking Sith, which server am I up against for incursions? I'm gonna be up against server 27. I need to check my amalgam crew setup. Yeah, I'm gonna have to spend some time tomorrow. Actually, maybe that should be done tonight. I got the fleet commander slot. Not the fleet commander slot, the fleet preset slot. And I think I'm gonna set that up for arenas and incursions. Or something like that. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, you also got to make sure you have the fleet commander. I remember if that was Sloan. Yeah, the suitcase, that forbidden tech, and then there's one of the officers too. You gotta have whatever that one officer is up top. course, that's only with on the one Selkie. There's been a couple of times where I've moved around other. I said Selkie, no, amalgam. I think there's might be another pack. Maybe not. Thought I had 3 amalgams. No, it was just 2. Pt2 and one of the export guys. Yeah, that sounds right. They're a good below deck base cracking crew. I haven't paid attention to that. Like Joaquim would be a good one to use. Giorgio would not be a bad one to use. DeMarco. It gets kind of tricky though. Some of these things don't actually apply in station combat. I don't know if any of these specifically don't apply in station combat, but I know some of them say that they don't. I think those are mainly the offensive abilities from a or I guess the defensive abilities as a defender more than anything. But yeah, like DeMarco, Joaquin, and then a lot of the ones from the export queue area have some use to them, and then the lower decks retaliation crew comes in handy too. Yeah, it helps if you get an opportunity to scout. To scout the station that you're going against. Combat will follow the order of ship type. So if you're using, is that from an offensive or defensive perspective? I don't remember how that works, but you can target a specific ship by using a specific ship. So like if you use an interceptor, I'm pretty sure it will attack the battleships first. If you use an interceptor, I'm pretty sure it attacks the battleships first, and then it does the interceptor second, and then it would do the explorers third, and then it would move on to survey ships fourth. Because that's before we had the oceans defense. You were able to stack some of those officers into some some of your defensive officers into the survey ships because they would last the longest in combat. And then after your survey ships are attacked, then it moves on to defense platforms. So if you have a little bit of variety in the ship that you can do, you can really do some pinpoint things with the ships that you're using to attack. Especially when it comes to using like the retaliation crew. I don't know if these ones are only hostiles. Those are only hostiles. But most of the time, it's more beneficial to try to keep it a generic loadout, I think. And then also giving yourself shield boosting isn't a bad thing. As much as you can to shield regeneration or extra shields. Crit percentages, crit damage, that's all really beneficial. And I'll be streaming on Tuesdays, so I can always try some things. If there's any bases that are reasonably strong that are unshielded. It gets a little tough because I work on Wednesdays, so I'm not going to be able to be up late enough to get the people that forget to shield. Yeah, I found a lot of times that the strike team is sufficient. I think ROM kind of lost some of its effectiveness too with clone, because there's the ability there for turning off the recharge delay. I didn't know your sub expired. Oh, you got hit with the ad. I appreciate that, Skeletor. Thank you. The resub notifications are always funky. Yeah, like when you join the next stream or something, it'll probably pop up with the 2-month badge thing or whatever the heck that is. I never understand it. It happens to me all the time when I'm in other people's chats too. It's like, oh, let's not celebrate the win then. But it counts. I mean, I can see it increased. It didn't associate with your name. You never share those? I usually share like a 6-month or a 12-month or something like that. Like I usually don't share like a random like a 3-month or 7-month or something. Or if they've got like sub goals going on their stream or something like that, then I'll redeem it for that so that they know that that can be done. Or otherwise it's just really, really quiet. Did I need to do any more uncommon? I'm almost a half a day ahead on uncommon. It's pretty satisfying to be able to take a day off of mining this stuff. Does I have 15 in the stream? 15 of what? Was 18? Watchers, oh. Yeah, I don't... That's pretty good. That's pretty decent turnout then. Those numbers float around really weird though. I don't trust those numbers a lot. That's just people that just like channel surf or whatever. Okay, Selkie on the way. Serene Squall is done tonight. You didn't when you streamed Raid or Summoner's Glory? Yeah, it's... I don't even actually have it on my OBS right now to be able to even see. I did before. I redid my entire OBS this weekend. I was using the Stream Elements plugin. The Stream Elements plugin had that on there, but the generic plugin doesn't have it, and I'm fine with that, actually. It's good to not have any kind of a focus on the numbers, because then if it's sitting at 0 or 1, then I don't have to be down, and then I can just be in the habit of trying to make sure that it's as good a quality with one person in here as there is with 18. Which I guess good might be a relative term, but yeah, it's gonna get interesting next month as September starts too. I'm very interested to see some of the analytics from some of that stuff that comes through. Because I will be streaming a little bit more than normal. I almost forgot to do the NSEA event. That was like the second thing that I did today, because I'm gonna lose this Selkie. No, okay. I forget about these damn things all the time. That was like the second thing that I did today, because I consider it a pretty decent pain in the ass. If it wasn't for like the decent return on the resources and the Nesmus shards, I probably wouldn't even do it. But that one is worth the effort. $1 million common splicers. That's like 2 max pulls. No, it's 1 max pull. Need the Sigma Dill and the refined gas. You know, I have not had too much of a problem with dilithium yet. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm just really behind on research. That could definitely be a factor. Yeah, tritanium is definitely an issue. It can be, at least. That's one of the biggest obstacles that I run into. I know that. I don't think I'm doing any ship upgrades here anytime soon. So I don't think I'm gonna run into any issues with it particularly. I got my cube up to where I can for 67. Well, 66. And so I took my Kaskari as far as I planned, as far as I needed to for that. So I don't think I'm gonna really dump anything extra into that, because it's not preventing me from doing anything I need to do on a daily basis yet. Do you have a philosophy on ship upgrades? I would love to hear your philosophy. I only max epic ships? Yeah. And so sometimes I question if that's even worth it, but... I know for G5, G5 was definitely worth it. G4 was mildly worth it. I don't feel like there was much that the epics, that the G4 epics could do that the rares couldn't. G5 was worth it though, because it had a lot of carryover into G6 territory. I'm really curious to see how things are going to shake out for G7. Yeah, just getting the Explorer or the Interceptor is good advice, because I got locked into a spot where I had 3 battleships. My top 3 ships were all battleships, and that was really rough when we were doing those events where you had to attack with a specific ship class. Yeah, I'm curious to see how much carryover there's going to be from G6 to G7, or G7 is going to be locked the same way that G6 is. I mean, from the hints that we're kind of seeing right now, like the ship strength requirements are probably going to be very similar. Between G5 and early G6, make sure you max your faction rep. Are you talking the 500 billion lock, or are you talking the 15 billion lock? $500 would be tough to do in early G6, I think, or G5. Maybe not with Mirror Universe. Well, I mean, anything's doable with enough time and ambition. Yeah, I mean, even as the free-to-play players get to the point where they're going to need to be at that point, you know, like, their protectors should be at the point of being very usable to get into some of those deeper systems and make it worth the time. Retro's not planning on max for reps anytime soon. I'm not either, to be honest. I need to. I'm ahead of my buildings right now. And that's the biggest thing, as long as you can stay ahead of your buildings. Max rep a few months ago to sheer Borden. Agony booth is key. That's the... I don't even know if I have that one unlocked yet. Oh, that's actually a forbidden tech? Oh, I do have that one unlocked. Okay, yeah, because there's a rep gain there. Yeah, you get the Sigma speed ups there, and that's a huge injection to your game efficiencies. It's getting to not be the best place to... I shouldn't say. We're getting other places that are good places to source the speed ups from. But for a long time, that was the only like real decent place to get those source speed ups. Yeah, those solos will get easier too as the GS31 gets a chance to level up. Well, it's really similar to the Augment Exile space here too, where there's a lot of hostiles that are spawning. So like there's always stuff that's kind of nearby, so it feels like there's a lot more going on. Otherwise, not even the ones you need the GS31 for. Well, that's true, but you get more out of the elites though. It's not a significant amount, but I mean it is more. Yeah, not so much a secret. It is definitely harder. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing the regular solos. But if you can do the elites, that's worth doing the elites. Because just as I've been getting my GS31 tiered up, I've been able to start confidently being able to do the 55 elite. I was wondering about that. I was like, I don't remember. I was snooping around and I was like, I don't see Skeletor. Every once in a while, it's kind of fun to go through the rosters and all the teams and just see where everybody's at these days. Especially after the Nona and MBD split. That's kind of fun. I always like to change my name for the holidays. Yeah, rep speed ups credits. You do pretty good on all of them. And now that they kind of got the, if you get the ability, once you kind of get stuff kind of unlocked in the Alliance Tournament store too, you can get some more of the you can get some more of the Kushara shards and get yourself a little bit more of the queuing ability, because getting that up is really useful for those boring grinds, because you can tab away from that space and go do other things for 5 minutes. It makes it so much more tolerable. That's true. You're likely to spend as much time there farming speed ups as you are to actually doing the rep. I've done some real serious trips over there for doing speed ups. When I was doing my push to 66, like I spent like a solid day and a half just going in there as much as I could, and I was able to do a good chunk of my building upgrades just off of the universe grind. You're not speeding it up. It's like one trip in the mirror universe. Yeah, I actually built an Enterprise D for one of the good paying spend events that we had here last month, I think. Yeah, I had everything that I needed to bring the Dare deck straight to max. So I built that as my G5 epic. That was the only epic I had until 2 weeks ago. The speed ups or the chip parts were the hardest thing to always make sure to have on hand. It's not hard to run out of the rares. The G5 epics, yeah, they can carry you a long ways. I also, Damo was saying that the GS31 is probably going to be able to carry people. Yeah, the hazard resistance is the biggest reason, I think. As long as it has sufficient enough warp range. G6, they found a really good way to make research a carrot to dangle in front of you. I always feel like every time I get something unlocked, the next level of research is like, oh, that's only one more level. Oh yeah, Retro, I hear you. I'm not in a rush to 70 myself. If I wanted to be there, I would be there, but I may feel like more of a rush here in what, 6 weeks? We'll see. I've been kind of an early adopter with like G5 and G6. I might take it slow on G7 because I kind of like where things are with G6 right now. Plus, there's so much other side quest items that I don't know if I'd want to take on the new stuff. We'll have to see. I haven't even hardly done any of the G6 missions yet. Like, that's one of my goals for like a long stream or something like that. I feel like they introduce them from time to time, because I've found some in some random systems that I've spent plenty of time in before. Like, even in G4 space, they released a bunch of G4 missions some point. Two years in. Not bad. Oh, they might have been locked. They might have been locked for that until you were 61 or something. Yeah, I know another guy that's been playing for around the same amount of time. He just hit 62 last week, which is crazy to me. Money goes a lot further these days. Money goes a lot further in the game these days. Yeah, I mean, I've started new accounts and had them to 32 within 2 weeks, which boggles my mind still. They're doing a pretty decent job of making things sourceable, at least. Yeah. 6 months to get to 32. Yeah, I don't remember. I'd say it probably took me around a year. I am very far behind. I'm very far behind on that. I always miss the Predum formations. No, not that one. I have 40 scimitar and 20 enterprise E shards. That's it. Well, I discovered the monthly packs where you'd get the I do have a relativity. I discovered the monthly packs that you get the resources that you can redeem every day. I started getting those around like level 28 or 30, so that advanced my gameplay pretty quick. I do not have an impressive relativity by any means. I'm just starting to turn into G5 territory with it. It's getting there. I put a little bit into my Vorcha. I kind of anticipate to use that maybe for some scrapping opportunities. Well, there's different aspects of the augment loop that are worth invest. I mean, it's all time. But that's gonna make it way easier. Because that's not that far out now. $18 days. Yeah, waves aren't fun. I try to avoid them as much as possible. Luckily, the solo waves are limited and often that you can do those, so... There's a lot of good favors in the augment loop. I still question if the ship's gonna really bring any value though, but... I shouldn't say any value. I question how much value it's gonna bring. Yeah, I know that all relativities will do it, but we don't have the relativities to be able to do it in Borg right now. Or in Cube. Well, I don't know what you consider done. Like, I've got the reputation maxed. I've got Joaquin maxed. I've got Khan unlocked. But I'm far from done. $17 days. I mean, there's some big efficiencies and stuff in there. Good research. Oh, I never pulled any of the auto defenses. I shouldn't say any of them. I did pull a couple of them, but I was like, yeah, that's not worth it. Yeah, I know that you need to do a lot of the missions for con. I don't remember exactly what the conversion rate was. When you're using the ship, but yeah, it's quite a bit. You gotta be op 70 to do the Nightmare Champion. Yeah, I noticed. I thought maybe I'd be able to do it with my cube and some cheating crewing, but I could not get that one pulled off. So it's gonna be staring at me, just laughing. Yeah, it was disappointing because the level underneath of it is not difficult. So I figured it'd just be a difficult one. I didn't realize it'd be an impossible one. Well, the cube grind isn't too bad if you actually use the ship. You have to use the ship. You have to do the beaming. And it is completely worth it because it's the best ship in the game. It lost a little bit of its purpose. I shouldn't say purpose. It lost a little bit of its edge when the new warping capabilities came out with Transogen here for faction ships. Yeah. 16 something bill and barely reduced the shield. Yeah, that's kind of about what my result was. I kind of expected it to be like halfway's dead shields and then like 10% dead hull. It took a lot of effort to get the cube up to the same level as your ops. Once you get past that hump though, it accelerates quickly. I thought about picking up a second cube. I haven't though. But dang, it's been tempting. Especially when I level up a ship and it gives me the extra components to be able to upgrade that second cube. I'm like, oh. Use it to help in G5 armadas. Yeah, that'd be a very good use of it. That's one of the problems that I run into, is that I barely have a ship that's small enough to help some of the smaller players. There's a big disparity between like the G4 and the G5 realm. I started getting the G4 epics, and I think those are pretty reasonable. I'm gonna have to do that Federation reputation one. I gotta get my Federation caught up to my Klingon. My Klingon's right at the cusp of hitting idolized. And I've learned in the G6 realm that things make big swings when you level up. I try to keep like one of everything on hand. Well, it's a matter of the ship. I mean, if you're sending like a 13 billion ship to a G5 epic, that might be overkill. Well, I mean, ever since they did the some of the events, like the flashback events where you had to use specific ships to do specific tasks, I've kind of been making sure that I hold on to some. Yeah, a lot of times we've just gotten in the habit of sending the Vindicator now. That typically does the trick, depending on what they're hitting. Obviously, there's some armadas that doesn't really matter what the loot is at the armada itself. The goal is to get the chest for starting it and completing it and stuff. Like the regular formation armadas, like that really doesn't matter about the loot that's in the armada itself. Like the entire goal with the formation armadas is to get the completion chests. And kind of the same way with the Grenum formations too. Like it doesn't really matter the share that you get out of them so much as it does with the chests. Because if your ship's small enough that you're not getting a big enough cut, you're starting something bigger than you're capable of doing, for the most part. For some of them. Yeah, That's the power. The power that's happened on these ships is amazing. Like I remember when like a 7.5 mil Enterprise was like a really impressive Enterprise. Close to being able to solo a 67 leg with the relativity. Nice. Yeah, I'm still a ways off from that. It's coming around though. My Revenant is actually the one that I've been working hardest on. After I get the Revenant done, then I will be working on relativity for sure. Oh yeah, I can definitely tell it's moved up a lot, because that'll put it in like G5 rare territory. So it should almost double the strength. Just getting up to the next tier. I'm getting ready to wrap it up for the night. Thanks everybody for stopping by. Thanks for the subs, the bits, the follows. Thanks for the time, the conversation. Appreciate everybody stopping in. We'll probably go ahead and raid MJ again. Yes, have a good night, everybody. Oh, Bombs is going live? Well, maybe we hold on a second then. Yeah, but I rated MJ a couple nights ago. If that works. Hi, Ultravetica. There we go. All right, we're gonna rain the Bob Nickety. It works really easy to raid out with the raid manager, but man, it's a struggle for me to remember how to do it with just the chat commands. All right, once again, thanks for stopping by. Hope everybody has a great week. And sorry to raid out on you immediately, Ultravetica. But it is the end of my night for me.